Terry Rozier this year is making $26.6 million. He has made so far in his NBA career over $160 million. If these FBI allegations are true, he is likely to spend time in prison and his NBA career is likely over, all as the result of around $200,000.
The NBA's latest scandal has fans in disbelief. Terry Rozier caught up in gambling rumors that could destroy everything. And now, shocking FBI reports show the mastermind behind it was someone he trusted for years. The wildest part of this NBA gambling scandal is the question everyone's asking. Why would a dude pulling in $24 million a year throw it all away for a small-time prop bet?
Guys, this year alone, Terry Rozier is making over $340,000 per NBA game. He makes almost every half what is alleged that he made or facilitated the making of through prop bets every single half nearly that he plays in an NBA season. If he did this, this is dumb on a moron level, the likes of which we have rarely seen. He risked his entire career and his entire freedom for roughly what he makes in one half of every NBA game. And he would set up to make a lot more money because he's still, I think, only like 31 years old. So relatively speaking, he is still a young man.
It just doesn't add up. Guys like Terry Rozier were supposed to be untouchable when it came to this kind of dirt. But now we finally know what pushed him to cross that line. And honestly, what the NBA did afterward might be even worse. If this turns out to be true, it could make the league look 10 times dirtier than anyone imagined. But first, let's rewind to Rozier. You could almost understand someone like Jonte Porter doing this. He was making around $400,000 a year, and when a shady offer slides across the table, temptation hits hard. But Rozier, he had everything. So how did this even happen? The FBI just dropped the name of his so-called partner in crime? De Niro Laster, a childhood friend he basically grew up with on the court. Apparently, this guy hits up Rozier asking for a favor. He's like, yo, if you can slide me any inside info, this dude's offering me $100,000. And Rozier, thinking it's no big deal, probably said, all right, I got you.
This speaks to the state of sports media right now, where so many of the media outlets, including ESPN, are taking gambling money or have a sports book so that when they're talking about a massive historic gambling scandal, they're still selling you on sports gambling. And so when something like this breaks, so many of the media outlets aren't prepared or capable of covering it in the way that it deserves because there's a massive conflict of interest, because sports gambling is propping up so much of sports media right now. And I think the question of whether or not making sports gambling illegal would prevent this is almost besides the point. The real issue is that the mindset of gambling has completely taken over America.
It's late March, season's nearly over, no playoffs. What's one fake injury, right? He thought he'd help out his day one friend with an easy bag. Huge mistake, because once Rozier gave up that info, De Niro passed it straight to a known gambler named Marvis Faley, a real sketchy dude, and if he was dropping $100,000 for that intel, you already know something massive was in play. That one little favor Rozier did ended up blowing into a nationwide gambling web that nobody saw coming. It wasn't just a couple of shady bets. This thing spread like wildfire across the country. You had Shane Hannon dropping $61,200 on Rozier's unders, Timothy McCormick going all in with $207,000, Long Fee Fam throwing $41,000, and it didn't stop there. Another guy bet $20,000, someone else $17,000, another $12,500, and even two smaller players tossed in around $4,000 each. These dudes built a full-on underground operation, and Rozier had no clue his small talk with a childhood buddy would light that kind of fire.
The tip of the iceberg when you're dealing with gambling, they say, in the NBA. Besides Terry Rozier, prosecutors also charged Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups and former Cleveland Cavaliers guard and assistant coach Damon Jones. The Diamonds say members of the Portland Trail Blazers, for example, secretly fixed a game, and the bettors used that information for wagers. The Diamond says, quote, the Trail Blazers were going to be tanking, i.e. intentionally losing, to increase their odds of getting a better draft pick in the upcoming NBA draft. Several of the Trail Blazers' best players would not be playing.
Think about it. A random Thursday Hornets game suddenly sees hundreds of thousands of dollars flooding in from nowhere? How much louder could that scream suspicious? It was practically a neon sign flashing, "Investigate me." And yet everyone online started spinning the story wrong, posting lazy clickbait like Rozier threw a game for $200,000. Completely false. He didn't make that money. That was just the total amount bet on the unders. Here's what really went down. De Niro Laster, Rozier's so-called friend, which was promised a $100,000 payout, but ended up with only tens of thousands, around $20,000 tops. When he got the cash, he even pulled up to Rozier's house, counted it out, and tried to hand him some. And Rozier, probably trying to act cool or detached, might have said something like, "Nah bro, keep it, I don't even need it." But that moment sealed it. One decision, one favor, and his entire career was on the line. This is what people don't get. It's not always greed that takes guys down. Sometimes it's loyalty to the wrong person. Rozier wanted to help his old friend, thinking it was harmless, but in reality, he walked straight into a trap, and that trap's now got him shackled. Literally. The man was cuffed at the wrists and the ankles, had to put his own house up for collateral just to get bail. All of that over one game. One mistake that could destroy everything he built. And here's the craziest part. As bad as that sounds, what the NBA did after might be even worse. Because now whispers are spreading that there's a cover-up happening behind closed doors. Rumors say league officials knew more than they let on and tried to sweep parts of it under the rug. If that turns out to be true, Adam Silver himself could be facing major heat. There's a full-blown conspiracy bubbling here, and it's about to explode. It all kicked off on January 20th, 2025, the exact day the world found out Terry Rozier was in serious trouble. The NBA dropped a statement trying to sound calm, saying, "In March 2023, the league was alerted to unusual betting activity connected to Terry Rozier. We conducted an investigation and found no violation of NBA rules, but we're aware of an ongoing federal investigation and are cooperating fully." Sounds neat and tidy, right? But behind that corporate tone, something didn't sit right. Basically, the league was like, "Yeah, we already knew the feds were on Rozier, just FYI. But hold up. If they knew all this time, why didn't they say anything? They kept that info locked away for 22 months, nearly 2 years of silence while fans had no clue. That's a major red flag." Now rewind to that infamous March 2023 game, the one where Rozier supposedly hurt his ankle. Watch the clip.
And the meter's still running, Richard. Still going. Rozier turned it over again, having a tough night. And Rozier off the DHO. And he turned it over. Turn it up. But you don't want to play with your crew, especially against the Miami Heat. I tell you, hey, you don't like playing in Miami? Yeah. Better do it. Lock down to 3. They got to get busy. Rozier with a 9-1-1 comes up short. And on Merrill. Rozier, a contested 3 is short. The ultimate teammates and sacrifice so much. Rozier on the show and go. That all year. Empty corner 2-man game. Rozier with a 3. Anderson with a rebound. Rozier relocates for another try. Boy, that was awfully.
He comes off a screen, rises up for a clean mid-range jumper, looks totally fine. Then suddenly he grabs his ankle and limps off the court. No contact, no twist, nothing. It was straight up acting. Within hours, sportsbooks started lighting up. Bets were flying in on Rozier's unders, and it didn't take long before the alarms went off. Sportsbooks immediately hit up the NBA, basically saying, "Yo, something's off. There's weird money pouring in on a random Thursday Hornets game." And what did the NBA do? They quietly benched Rozier for the rest of the season. Sure, there were only 8 games left, but let's be real. It wasn't because of that injury. It was because they already knew something shady had gone down. This whole thing wasn't even an official NBA investigation, meaning they knew what was going on and still said nothing. Now sure, I can kind of understand the logic of staying quiet at first. You don't want to blow up a player's entire reputation if there's even a small chance the rumors aren't true. That part makes sense. But here's the issue. They let Terry Rozier get traded to the Miami Heat while all of this was happening. Like, are you serious? Imagine being the Heat's GM or even a fan finding out later that your new player was under a federal gambling investigation and nobody told you. I'd be furious. When reporters pressed Adam Silver about it, his answer was basically, well, the NBA doesn't have subpoena power. We can't threaten jail time. All we could do was check Rozier's phone and talk to him, and everything seemed fine. But come on, that's not good enough. If he ends up guilty, they can't just shrug it off like, oh, well, we tried. Not telling the Heat, a team about to invest millions in him, feels shady as hell, and when you dig deeper, it starts looking like Silver might have intentionally buried the story to protect the league's image. People are already calling him out, saying, if he could brush off the Kawhi drama like it's nothing, what else is he capable of hiding? It's like his number one priority isn't the truth, it's the money. Get this. The NBA actually found out about Rozier's injury scam all the way back on March 23rd, 2023. And what happened next? They stayed silent for over a year, until after they locked down that massive $75 billion media rights deal in July 2024. You can almost picture the moment that file hit Silver's desk and he's like, nah, this can't leak right now. We've got billions on the line. It's the kind of cold, calculated move that screams damage control. Now, I'm not saying this proves anything about his motives. All we've got are the facts and the timeline. But when you line it all up, it doesn't look good. And you know who's really got a reason to care? The Miami Heat. They traded for a player who might have been under investigation the whole time, and he's been terrible. In Game 1, Rozier was technically available, but didn't even make the rotation. That's how bad it's gotten. So now people are asking, could the Heat push for salary cap relief or even try to reverse the trade altogether? At this point, anything's on the table. If I were the Miami Heat, forget about Rozier's contract. I'd be fighting tooth and nail for that first-round pick they sent to Charlotte. That's the real loss here. Imagine trading away a premium draft pick just to end up with a player wrapped in federal controversy and barely putting up numbers. You'd want that pick back immediately. But hold on, that's not even the craziest part. Because while the league's been trying to contain the Rozier mess, the FBI just dropped another bomb about those mafia-linked poker games.
X-ray tables, secret shuffling machines, and decoy cell phones. It's the NBA meets mafia gambling scandal that's rocking the sports world. In a week where the NBA should have been focused on the start of a new season, the league instead playing defense over sprawling federal cases involving a head coach, a player, and mobsters.
According to their report, Chauncey Billups was allegedly involved in luring wealthy people into rigged poker games designed to clean out their wallets. Yeah, you heard that right. The same Billups who used to be called Mr. Big Shot. And honestly, the mafia must be struggling if their big celebrity recruit is Chauncey Billups. Like, come on, even Scorsese couldn't turn that into a hit movie. But then things got way more shocking. Because sports journalist Pablo Torre revealed that Kevin Garnett might have been part of one of those games too. And apparently he wasn't the only one. Several former athletes were reportedly sitting at those tables. If that's true, it's wild. Let's be real. There's no way someone like Kevin Garnett, who made over $300 million in his career, would knowingly play in a rigged mafia game. What's $7 million to him? That's what the FBI says those games pulled in total. About $7 million stolen. So if KG was there, he probably had no clue what was going down. And honestly, if that's the case, maybe Chauncey didn't either. If Chauncey really is innocent, his biggest mistake might have been trusting the wrong people, especially Damon Jones. Because according to the FBI, Jones, a former NBA assistant coach, was literally selling inside information. That's the one big new detail from this entire FBI press conference. Everything else we already knew about, including the Terry Rozier case. Still, this whole thing is a terrible look for the NBA. Fans have joked for years that games are rigged, but now it's not sounding like a joke anymore. Adam Silver's got to act fast before the next scandal hits even harder. And the wild part is, while all this chaos is unfolding off the court, the actual basketball has been fire. This season's start has been one of the best in years. That Rockets Game 1 was insane, but it also showed one brutal truth about Houston. Even with KD on board, there's still one major weakness holding them back. Unless they pull off another massive trade, what do you think really went down here? Was Rozier just trying to help a friend, or was there something bigger behind it all? And do you believe the NBA handled this the right way, or did they try to bury the truth? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what you think about this one. Thanks for watching and supporting Ball Stories. It means a lot. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this video, and if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe for more wild stories straight from the court. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.